Sonya Buchanan with Confident Promises Broadcast. Today we have a great program for you. Today we're going to talk about the 7 mountains that affect 7.1 billion people globally. So stay tuned for that program. Welcome to Live Your Best Life. Hi, my name is Sonya Buchanan and welcome to Confident Promises Broadcast. Today is going to be a great program. We're going to talk about the 7 mountains and those 7 mountains and how they affect 7.1 billion people around the world. That's you and me. How they have an importance in each and every one of our lives and how it brings balance. But first, I want to talk about the spiritual perspective. In the Word of God, it talks about 2 separate worlds. The first world, it speaks about that Jesus came to redeem the entire world for salvation. But then there's a second world that he speaks about for his people to refrain from, to walk away, to stay away from. But we're going to talk about the latter world at the end of the program. But first, I want to talk about the 7 mountains and how they are related to each and every one of us and how important that they are. So first, let's go ahead and erase our board. And I'm going to attempt to draw out 7 mountains, and we're going to name those 7 mountains. Okay? So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the first mountain, we're going to call that religion. The second mountain, we're going to call that family. The third mountain, we're going to call that education. The fourth mountain, we're going to call that business. The fifth mountain, we're going to call that government. The 6th mountain, we're going to call that media. And the 7th mountain, we're going to call that arts and entertainment. So we have 7 mountains here. We have religion, we have family, education, business, government, media, and arts and entertainment. Now, I give classes on teaching people about who they are and what they're called to do. And with 7.1 billion people in the world, we fit somewhere in one of the 7 mountains, okay? One of the 7 mountains we fit under. You can't avoid it. 7.1 billion people in the world, and you are under one of these mountains. But first, let's talk about the top of the mountain. Whoever controls the top of the mountain controls the rest of the mountain. Okay? So we're going to let's talk about how every mountain that is up here that we all need. It all brings a balance in our lives. Okay? Let's talk about the religion mountain. Okay? Now, religion, there is a telltale says, we separate religion and government. Separate religion and education. But really, can we do that? Let me tell you how important religion is in all the rest of the 6 mountains. Religion is very important. Religion, people who are called under the religion are pastors and preachers and apostles, teachers, people who are set up to edify the church. You may not be called to be one to edify the church, but you still may be called to be up under the religion mountain. You may be called to work at the religious institutions, as an administrator. But you have this grace about yourself, and you know that this is where you are called to be under this mountain, okay? But religion plays a very important role in every one of these mountains. Let me tell you why. Because religion, they are prayer warriors. There are people who oversee souls. And because we're 7.1 billion people in the world, every one of these mountains need religion. you know, 9/11 was a very sensitive place for me. But I remember when 9/11 happened and I went to service that night, church was packed. That was one example where I knew Religion Mountain was very important. It was a safety place, a place of comfort and a place of peace and serenity for answers from the Lord. So religion plays a very important role because whenever a family gets in trouble, we need people to pray. Now, I've been up on many occasions at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I check my Facebook account, and I see people needing prayer at that time in the morning. I don't know exactly what they do far as their daily jobs, but they needing prayer. That's where religion comes in at. They could be under the business entity, but they still need prayer. So religion is very important on all of these. We need people to pray for the souls of arts and entertainment because they sing and they entertain us. And they may be stressed out or tired performing. That's what prayer, it helps build back life into them. So religion, everyone needs religion in every one of these. Every one of these mountains form a type of an alliance. And what I mean about an alliance, there's a common denominator that each and every one of these mountains form together. And we're going to talk about that later. But let's talk about family. Family is interesting. You may be called underneath the family mountain. You may be called into the family entity where you help with the orphan children, or you help with the family services, or you're called to raise your family. You're called to have that family structure. You just have that in you to do that, to raise children, to have children, to look after other people's children, to oversee other people's children, to help clothe them. But this is something that you're called underneath that mountain. But the family mountain, every one of these mountains, every one of these people have a family. They also need prayer in religion. You can't avoid it. Let's talk about education. Education, you can't avoid religion, family, business, government, media, and arts and entertainment. Someone had to teach all these people under the education mountain. Education, you may be a person who likes to teach, a person who likes to oversee principles and making sure that things are in order and understood, complicated things, okay? In business, you may be called to be under the business entity. You may be called to be an entrepreneur. You may be called to find a new invention to help make the other 7 mountains' life easier. You know, we talk about Facebook, we talk about Bill Gates and Internet Explorer. I remember we used to have to do programming in DOS. And Bill Gates came up with Windows, made our life so much easier, made my life easier, because I had to sit and program and do things in DOS. But Internet Explorer, he was called under business. He made our life so much easier. Whoever created the internet, under the business mountain, okay? The government, oh, we all know everybody needs the government. Who's going to fill out our taxes? The government is also the one who comes up with laws to make sure that we drive properly, to make sure that we drive 65 miles per hour and not 100 miles per hour down the road. So government is important, and everyone is forming an alliance because we abide by those laws. In media, okay? Media, the news is very important. The news reports all the things that's going on in our neighborhood, okay? And so we need the media. We need the media to tell us what is going on around the world. They have the amenities to go around the world to find and bring it back home to us and tell us and report. Media is also giving us entertainment and let us know what are some of the good things that's going on in the world as well. And the media, we all need, of course, religion, family, education, business, government, and arts and entertainment. We all find media very important because right now we're discussing our new president, we're discussing the new laws, we're discussing health issues. And let's talk about the health and medical. Health and medical, I know we talked about business, but health and medical is underneath business as well. So let's talk about arts and entertainment. Now we all know that arts and entertainment, we all need balance. And arts and entertainment is something that everybody needs. We need to have one of those woosah moments where we go and relax. to watch someone sing and perform, to watch a movie, to watch a baseball, because to me, I think baseball, football, basketball, and all those things like that, sports and entertainment, it's underneath arts and entertainment because it entertains us. It brings joy. So you can see how each and every one of these mountains form an alliance, and we all need each other. What is the common denominator for all of these mountains? What is the common denominator? The common denominator is, in Genesis, it talks about Adam and Eve was sent to till the land and to make it grow, to prosper. What is the common denominator of all these mountains? Each one of these mountains is that order, to till the land, to make it prosperous, to make it grow, to harvest in their selected expertise. That is the common denominator. The person that controls the top of the mountain, you may have a business person like the CEO and CEOs, and there could be many CEOs at the top of these mountains, could be many bishops and pastors here at religions. We have TBN and Daystar. I would put them at the top of the mountain because they have an important resource that could touch the lives of billions of people around the world. Family, whoever that's on top of this mountain controls the family, how we look at things and how we are nurturing things. We have people right now are fighting for children being married at a too early of age, marrying older men. And right now, people who are under this mountain are fighting to get those laws changed. Okay? So this is the common denominator that we have. Each one of these mountains, they are so inspired to cause the lives in every one of these mountains to grow and to prosper. I don't think that each of these mountains are against each other. I think that sometimes we spend so much time focusing on where we belong and where part of the mountains that we belong, that we forget that we all form an alliance and we all need each other in order to cause this earth to be in unity. Not to negate religion, not to negate business and education and government. Right now, government is a little bit, I say, a heated moment right now. But it's amazing because right now, we having concerns about sending people back over to the borders. And, you know, and I don't want to get into the government part about it. But when I thought about it, when I was getting ready to do this broadcast, I thought about it. I said, we're having these issues about the border issues, but it affects every one of these mountains. The border issues affects religion and family and education and business and government and media and arts and entertainment that is affecting that same issue. But each and every one of these mountains is important, and we have to form an alliance with these mountains. And let's talk about the importance that God feels about the mountains that we have here. He feels very strongly important just as much about religion as he does arts and entertainment. Okay? He feels just as serious about media and what we deliver and represent as he does the government with his laws. Okay? And just as much as business. Because you can take somebody that is a Christian, okay, who is actually not called underneath the mountain of religion, but they are a Christian, but they're called to be under the business mountain. And they get up every morning and they pray for a successful day in business, just as much as someone would in the religion mountain. But, you know, I was talking about myself. I was looking at these mountains earlier, and I thought about it. I have been in several of the mountains here. I've been under the religion. I've been under the education. I've been under the business part. I've been under government and media, and also arts and entertainment. And it's interesting. Right now, Confident Promises is part of religion because I was called to be a teacher. But I wasn't just called to be a teacher under the spiritual perspective because I have other knowledge in other areas of the mountain. But I've worked in education. I was a financial aid officer for a school, a college. And I thought about it, the business. I have owned my own business at one point in time. I was an entrepreneur, and I have written books. So I was underneath this mountain. And the government, I've worked for the government at one point in time, you know, doing some couple of things. And also the media. Like right now, I'm dealing with the mountain of media. And then the arts and entertainment, I've only dealt with that with taking piano lessons. But it wasn't something that I stuck with to be excellent in. But I was sitting there looking at the mountains, and I said, well, my goodness, maybe I should not share that. But I wanted to share that with you because you can take these same mountains and draw an outline and find out how many of these mountains have you been affiliated with. But really, what are your expertise? And I thought about it. Which one of these mountains do I flourish? It's like a fish. A fish that is for the sea, a salt fish, cannot thrive in a lake of fresh water. They only can thrive in an ocean with salt water. But they're still a fish and they're still in the water. It's the same thing with the mountains. And I think, which one of these mountains do I flourish in? And which one of the mountains do you flourish in? And that's what we have to find out. But every one of these mountains, we are forming an alliance. We need each other every day, or either maybe 2 or 3 times a day. But I just wanted to talk about how the importance of each and every one of these mountains, it plays a part in my life and it plays a part in your life. And we all need each other in order to make this earth, which is 7.1 billion people in the world, to make it work. You know, I was thinking about, you know, the scripture when the Lord commanded Adam to till the land and cause things to grow. And I was, you know, I kind of got a little sensitive about it because, you know, I thought about it. I said, education, people really are dealing with the financial aid for college students. And we're thinking about the future, the millenniums, and we're thinking about the kids are now graduating and going to education. How are they going to afford to educate for the new things that's going on right now? And that's the technology. We're thinking about sending people over to Mars to live. This will be considered under education, and it will be considered under government. And, excuse me. But the importance of the mountains, I wanted to just bring that to the forefront and talk about the importance that every 7 mountains associated and affiliated with each and every one of us daily. But let's talk about it. I said I was going to mention about the second world that the Lord speaks about for us to refrain from. And that world is living a life of sinful nature. And that is murder, that is treachery, that is gossip, that is things that will bring darkness to your life. That is the world he was speaking about for us to refrain from. He wasn't talking about this world. He's talking about the world to live in a life of regret and life of despair. That is the world that he speaks about us to refrain from. It's not that these worlds, he says, for us to stay away from each other, because we need each other. We need every one of us here on every one of these mountains. Because I don't know about you, because every year I can only go so far in filling out my taxes. But this past year I had to do depreciation. I had to call a person who filled out taxes. Now I know how to do regular taxes, but when it came to the point where I needed a real accountant for depreciations, I had to call someone under the government mountain to help me. You know? But sometimes at night when I'm tired, I need somebody to help me pray. because I need someone whose heart and that's what their job is, to pray. So I will reach out to someone to help me pray and to pray with me and to be in agreement. And also, when I'm needing some information about education, when I'm contacting someone in regards to explaining to me what does it mean when we talk about relativity of light that Edison talked about. That was education. He explained that very well. But we can't avoid the other mountains. We can't be in hostile relationships with the mountains. We can have hostile relationship with the things of darkness, of things of sinful, of things of like dealing with the police department and dealing with the child murders and dealing with the marriages and those type of things. We're not to refrain from it, but we are to get involved with the government to find out how can we handle that with laws. That's what he says, refrain from it. Don't participate in those things of the dark. And that's what Christ was speaking about when he talks about his people refraining and pull away from that type of world. Now, we can't control people's choices, whether they want to live like that. Now, if they choose to want to live in a place of darkness, we don't have to be around that. We can pull away from that. But as far as the 7 mountains, I just wanted to go over that with you. I hope I have not made this video too long, but I just wanted to explain just a little bit how every one of these mountains we form an alliance with every day, and maybe we're not even aware of it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So this is your host, Sonya Buchanan. Hey, check out our website at confidentpromises.com. And if you're interested in having me to come to your facilities, if you're having an event, or to invite me to speak, please send me an email. You can go to my website at sonyabuchanan.com and click on the invite and fill out the information, and I will receive it and respond to you, or someone in my team will respond to you and get back with you. If you would like to speak with me, we have a phone number on sonyabuchanan.com website. You can contact me. But check us out on our YouTube page, and that is YouTube/Sonya Buchanan, and you can watch some of the videos. You can also listen to this video. We're going to upload it on our YouTube page. Until next time, you guys, this is Sonya Buchanan with Confident Promises broadcast. Bye-bye.